Friends, welcome back. For today's question and answer, I want to answer a question that I've gotten so many times that I have to bring this one up to the front of the line. The question is whether I will teach in-person classes on reloading, wind reading, and competition strategies. Let me start by telling you why I started this channel. I love competition shooting. It is fun and rewarding. I want to help you gain the knowledge and understanding that helps elevate you to the highest pinnacles of your chosen shooting sport. I want to have hundreds more people in the world that can make my best day shooting look like a middle-of-the-pack effort. Let's start the answer to the question with a simple statement, and then we'll get into the more complex stuff. Yes, I intend to teach classes on wind reading as part of the Winning in the Wind project. I may delay a little before diving into the weeds of reloading, though. That part would take on a life of its own, and I want to make certain I bring adequate value to anyone that spends their time and money to go to a class with me. With that said, there are some hurdles to get over before I can start doing such things. The purpose of this video is to give you, my viewers, an understanding of the underlying problems that will be encountered in trying to start doing classes. This video was recorded on November 23rd, 2021 and is valid for my current situation today. Should things change in my personal life, the standards may move a little bit. With the current climate in the United States, I don't know how stable my current situation might be without mentioning any particular issues. So let's start with the first problem that has to be considered in traveling and teaching classes. As many of you are already aware, I work in the aerospace industry for my day job. In that employment, I receive a certain number of vacation days and dollars per year. Over the last 5 years, I have consumed every vacation day that I have received to go to matches. In other words, getting time off from work is a challenge for me. While I'm talking about this subject, you have to understand something about being a content creator. As a new YouTuber, which I am, I do not have an income stream of any significance from this channel. As a matter of fact, when I started out, I was funding all of the channel expenses out of my own pocket. The same pocket that pays for my shooting expenses and feeds my family. As the channel grew, I started a Patreon page. Today, the 130-some patrons that I have support this channel and keep me making videos for you. Their funds and generosity created this studio space, paid for better lighting, better cameras, and better audio equipment, to name a few. Notice the big black microphone is gone? While it may seem that there is a very valuable opportunity for a YouTube entrepreneur, the ever-revolving YouTube rules about monetization and community standards make this channel very vulnerable to demonetization or deletion by YouTube, should they find something in my subject matter that they find contrary to the rather vague rules about firearm content. You can imagine why I might not want to place all of my finances in that jeopardy. What does that mean for me? It means that I cannot use YouTube as a primary income source, so I cannot be a full-time content creator yet. In other words, I need that day job to feed my family. In order to overcome this hurdle, any classes I teach will have to fall within a certain construct. First, the expenses for traveling to the location and my loss of income while away from work will have to be compensated for. Moreover, I have to limit the locations and times of classes in a manner that allows me to efficiently utilize the vacation time that I do have. I'm going to be a little selfish here and state up front that I have several matches I need to attend per year, just to keep my skills sharp. Now, this is not insurmountable. It does mean that anyone asking for a class will have to pony up some money to make sure that I'm better off for doing that class rather than staying home to work. As I like to tell my boss, my time is available for rent. Let's move on to the second problem. This problem is one that we have for any competition or shooting that we do. We must have a suitable facility for the activity with suitable weather conditions. As a basic concept, it is very difficult to teach people how to shoot F-class on a 100-yard range. Although a handy 100-yard range would be a plus for certain pre-long-range shooting activities. As a wind coach and wind strategy type of instructor, I need to have enough distance to allow the wind to have a clear, unmistakable effect on the bullets, and to allow me to see the difference between unanticipated wind drift and rifle handling errors. They can look very much the same at times. In practical terms, I need to do this on an established range of at least 500 yards, and preferably one that is 600 to 1,000 yards. And before anyone asks, no, I will not be teaching in an uncontrolled environment like a meadow out in the woods or on the plains somewhere in central United States that is not an established competition-capable range. It would make no sense to take that kind of chance. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not an expert on the laws of various municipalities, cities, states, or countries. My social media exposure makes this all the more important, if you get my meaning. Unfortunately, tree-lined ranges where the air comes in and swirls around like the inside of a washing machine are not very desirable, as I'm trying to teach wind reading, not range familiarity. Instead, it is better to have a range in open terrain where the air can flow through and give all of the shooters clear indication of what's going on, so that they can learn from the experience and each other. No, it doesn't have to be Rattlesnake. There are several ranges that I've already visited that would be great places to do this. Examples include Ben Avery, Raton, Rattlesnake, Cosa, Camp Atterbury, and any others with similar characteristics. By comparison, narrow tree-lined ranges would be less desirable. The range has to be operated by someone or several someones during the class. That means that the club, through a match director or other club-approved responsible party, would operate the range. It's a division of responsibilities and safety issue. If I'm worrying about range safety, targets, or when lunch is, I will be less available to teach wind reading. Obviously, the cost of range use would also have to be borne by the students. So let's go over what we have already. I need money to compensate for my time away from work, and yes, I work a bit of overtime, including weekends. I need the class to coincide with other activities that would make effective use of my vacation time, keeping in mind that I likely have to do some traveling to get there and back. A great example would be the wind reading classes that, in prior years, were taught at the Ben Avery Range prior to Southwest Nationals. Since I almost always attend that match, when I can get signed up in time, that is, there is a distinct opportunity there. Next, we need to be on an established range for legal reasons. One that has open airflow across it and is run by a club official to ensure safe range operations and insured activities. Did I just say insurance? Yes, boys and girls, in our litigious society, any risk can turn into a financial disaster for me or a club. While it is extremely rare, people occasionally get hurt at matches. I've seen separated shoulders, people passed out for unknown reasons, and rifles damaged from ammunition issues, thankfully without injuring the shooter. The club needs to carry appropriate liability insurance to protect them and me. Now that we've considered the requirements for the live fire portion of the class, we need a few more things. Ideally, we would have a facility suitable for classroom instruction, and better yet, a match of at least one day following the class for the students to exercise their new skills. The final consideration is the number of students. To make it affordable, I need enough students to defray the financial costs of a class across many people and have enough students so they can learn from one another and conduct multi-person exercises that are so crucial to learning how to read the wind effectively. If you or your club want to have me come and teach wind reading and coach you in your shooting, think about these requirements and how we can come together to make it happen. I'm always open to suggestions. As always, you can contact me at winninginthewind@gmail.com and we can get a conversation started. Consider whether these requirements work for you. I look forward to meeting all of you on a range someday, and until then, shoot straight, and I'll see you.